What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a very exciting Liverpool transfer news video. Many various newspapers in England and in Spain are reporting that Adrien Rabiot was about to sign for Barcelona in a pre-contract agreement, but that move collapsed. It didn't happen, and now Liverpool are one of the favorites to sign Adrien Rabiot. He's available for a free transfer, and this is a 24-year-old, very good, maybe even world-class midfielder who Liverpool could get on absolutely nothing on a free transfer. And he hasn't played for Paris Saint-Germain since the turn of the year, but I think for a free transfer Liverpool should really pick him up. Let me know, do you think Rabiot would be good enough to play for Liverpool? And on a free transfer it would be a very low risk transfer in my opinion. And the source close to the player said that Rabiot is open to moving to a leading Premier League club, and his preference would be to link up with Liverpool because he has been a boyhood Liverpool fan. He has posted many times on Instagram about Anfield, about Steven Gerrard. When Steven Gerrard retired, he said in a post that Gerrard was his boyhood hero, and he watched Liverpool regularly and he played as Liverpool on FIFA as well. So let me know guys, do you think Rabiot would make a good signing? I certainly think so. And if you enjoy these transfer videos, please leave a like. It takes a second out of your day and it really helps me out and helps me a lot. And also turn on the bell notification so you never miss a future upload. And Jurgen Klopp said that Liverpool will not be as active in this transfer window as they were in the last transfer window, but I don't think anybody expected that, because in the last transfer window we spent 175 million pounds or something close to that, and of course before that in January we signed Van Dijk for 75 million. But I still think that Liverpool will make 2 or 3 big signings for the first team, and also maybe a couple of young players for the reserve team, but I think Rabiot should be one of them. And even though Rabiot is only 24 years old, he already played 227 games for Paris Saint-Germain, and he won a lot of trophies for Paris Saint-Germain, so he is quite an experienced player. But the fact is that because Rabiot was refusing to sign a new contract, and Rabiot even refused to play in some of the games as a defensive midfielder for Paris Saint-Germain, he hasn't been in a single matchday squad since the beginning of 2019. And it's very ironic that just one or 2 days ago, Thomas Tuchel, the Paris Saint-Germain manager, came out and blamed the recent struggles of PSG, who lost like 4 out of the last 5 games, including a French Cup final on penalties, to the lack of squad depth. He was blaming the losses on PSG having just 14 or 15 players available. Then why on earth didn't Rabiot get a game, or he can't even get on the bench? It looks like Thomas Tuchel got a very stubborn and just frozen out Rabiot, and he will leave on a free transfer. His contract expires in June, so after that he can select any club that he wants and talk to any club that he wants. And I think behind the scenes Liverpool have talked with Rabiot and his representatives, so it's going to be very close. And I really hope that Liverpool can get this guy, because honestly, for a free transfer, even if it doesn't work out, Liverpool can sell this guy for 30-40 million pounds. And it's sad how Rabiot has been frozen out, because last season he played 50 times for Paris Saint-Germain, and he was a key player in the side in the 2017-18 season, where Paris Saint-Germain won 3 domestic titles: the French League, the French Cup and the French League Cup. And Rabiot's former agent, which is his own mother, blamed the Paris Saint-Germain chairman Nasser Al-Khelaifi of poisoning the team, which is very harsh words. But the fact is that Rabiot was barred from the first team after refusing to discuss a contract extension, a situation that led to his mother and his agent, his former agent, comparing him to a prisoner being held hostage. I think that's a little bit harsh, because I think Rabiot was still getting his big wages. So Rabiot's mother and former agent said this: "The president has made a completely unfair decision and everybody knows that. By doing this, he has instilled a poison in his team, which he has done its work over the past 5 months. The president has broken his own team up because he forgot about the human factor. When you make decisions in life, there are short, medium and long-term consequences. Failing to understand that when you are the president of a football club is to not know football nor football players. Above all, it shows that you do not know how men work. His teammates, his Paris Saint-Germain teammates, know that Adrien Rabiot is suffering. Even if he says nothing, that suffering resonates. I am not saying that it is a conscious thing. I actually think that it is totally subconscious from the other players. However, there is a kind of a gangrene there. Nasser has taken away, the president has taken away their serenity. You cannot ignore it when one of the best players of your team is abused in front of your eyes. That's very interesting, that theory about this, that subconsciously maybe the other Paris Saint-Germain players feel for Rabiot and his exile, and maybe that's why they have collapsed at the end of the season. And frankly, after the Champions League exit, Rabiot, Paris Saint-Germain's form has nosedived. They lost a lot of games in the French league. They lost the League Cup final after being 2-0 up after 20 minutes. They lost to a team who haven't won a trophy since the 1970s. Rennes. Neymar punched a fan after the cup final, which was just a disgraceful behavior. Mbappe almost broke a leg of an opponent, a Rennes player, which he got a red card for. And the Paris Saint-Germain team, it looks like they just fell apart at the end of the season. And yes, they still won the French league quite comfortably, but that was a foregone conclusion. They went out of the Champions League again at the first knockout round. They went out of the French League Cup quite early, and they lost the French Cup final on penalties. So it has been totally a disastrous season for Paris Saint-Germain if you consider how much money they have put into the team. And also there have been articles about the owners, the Qatari owners of PSG, scaling back the funding in the coming years. And they are actually, if the rumors are true, in the Le Parisien newspaper, the Qatari owners planning to put that money that they get out of Paris Saint-Germain, they planning to buy a championship club in England, one of Aston Villa, Queen's Park Rangers, Leeds United or Nottingham Forest. Those are the 4 clubs that I read about in the newspapers. And one of them might get a new Qatari owner, and they might want to promote that club into the Premier League, and the Premier League top 6 could become a top 7 or top 8 even, with Wolves having more money in the coming years, and maybe a championship club like Leeds or Aston Villa. They might get promoted this season, and then next season with bigger funding from the Qatari owners. Who knows that in the next 5 years what could happen? I mean, nobody saw when Manchester City got new owners, nobody saw the rise of Manchester City to such levels. I don't think anybody would have predicted this, that Manchester City would be almost untouchable at the top of the Premier League in a 7 or 8 years, and they're having Pep Guardiola, one of the best managers in world football, at Manchester City. I'm not sure anybody would have predicted this. So in 7 or 8 years, there could be a current championship club maybe challenging for the Premier League title. It's crazy how much money these Qatari owners can pump into a football club, and I'm not sure what financial fair play will do about that. But if we go about it like Man City have been getting virtually no punishment about their financial fair play cheating and irregularities, then who knows, maybe it's possible to pump up another football club and make them challengers for the Premier League. So let me know, do you think that's a good thing or not? I personally don't think so, but if it's Leeds or Aston Villa, they have some history at least, so it would be kind of interesting, not very pleasant, but interesting to say the least, to see them maybe challenge some of the big clubs. So the bottom line is, I think Liverpool should buy Rabiot in the summer for absolutely nothing. And yes, we will probably pay Rabiot a big signing bonus and big wages, but still, if you add up those additional costs, that still wouldn't be as expensive as paying 30, 40, even 50 million pounds for Rabiot. I mean, last summer when Rabiot had an outstanding season with PSG, if we wanted to buy him, we would have had to pay at least 50 million pounds for Rabiot. And another story is that Brendan Rodgers can become a Liverpool hero a few years after almost becoming a Liverpool hero in the title race, because on Monday Manchester City will play Leicester City. And even though Brendan Rodgers publicly is saying that he only wants to win the game for Leicester City, privately, because Brendan Rodgers has quite a big ego, I think because the game is on TV and because, you know, the whole country and potentially half the world will be watching, Brendan Rodgers would love nothing more, believe me, than to derail Manchester City title hopes and be the reason, one of the reasons why Liverpool can win the title. I don't have a lot of hope about that happening, but stranger things have happened in football, and Leicester City certainly have some great players on the counter-attack, which can hurt a Manchester City side who have been pretty vulnerable. Against Tottenham, Tottenham had 4 or 5 clear chances to score. They couldn't score them, but on another day it could have been a different result. I'm talking about the Premier League game. Also, Burnley was like a few inches close to getting a point against Manchester City, because if Aguero's shot doesn't go over the line by just like 3 centimeters or something like that, then it could have been a different result. So Brendan Rodgers said this, and I'm employed by Leicester. My focus is on Leicester City. It's exciting to be involved in the title race and as a deciding team, but my thoughts are slowly with Leicester and doing what we can do to get a result. There's no comparison really with the Liverpool of now and the Liverpool when I was the manager there. Liverpool back then was at a different stage. We had young players, lone players. We went from 8th to 2nd in a couple of years, so it's a different dynamic. We deserved to finish 2nd. We proved over the course of the season with young players that it is possible, but over 38 games, we deserved to finish in 2nd place. Both teams have been exceptional in their consistency and the level of their game, both Liverpool and Manchester City this season. Brendan Rodgers continued. They have different styles, but both attacking, creative, scoring goals and having intensity. It will likely go right down until the last game. We respect that it will be a tough game for us on Monday against Manchester City. We have a game and a model that can beat any team. Players improving all the time. You know, you have to defend very well, strong, aggressive, compact, but from the base we have speed, incisive, making that last pass. The importance is to ensure you defend well and you are aggressive and then show qualities when we have the ball. So Brendan Rodgers is having a game plan against Manchester City, and I just can't wait to see what that game will bring, because Manchester City will get nervous at some point. They were very nervous against Tottenham. They were nervous against Burnley. It showed in their play. They didn't play as well as they can. If Liverpool can beat Newcastle, then all the pressure will be on Manchester City, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm not expecting Leicester to get anything, but I'm hoping for it. So let's wait and see what happens. And Jamie Carragher has warned Luis Suarez that after his antics in the Barcelona-Liverpool game and how he celebrated the goal, what he tweeted after the game, and also how he wound up Robertson and other Liverpool players, Jamie Carragher said it won't be the hero homecoming that he will be hoping for at Anfield. And Carragher said this after the game: "I don't think it will be as warm the reception that Luis Suarez gets at Anfield as he would have hoped." He was Luis Suarez. You love him when he's in your team and you hate him when he plays for the opposition. It was the first time he was in the opposition against Liverpool, and I don't think Liverpool fans will have liked him and his antics. He plays on the edge, very streetwise, a great first goal for him, but I don't think it will be the hero homecoming he will be hoping for. And just to give my comments, I agree, but that's why, that's Luis Suarez. He would even celebrate against his own daughter or son scoring in the back of his garden, I believe. He is a winner, and I admire and respect that about him. And Carragher is right. Luis Suarez has always been like this. He's always playing on the edge, sometimes even over the edge. And my only regret is that sometimes Liverpool supported Suarez a little bit too much when he was in his darkest hour, when the racism incident occurred with Patrice Evra, when that biting occurred twice, the second time we sold him to Barcelona. Maybe Liverpool stood a little bit too much over Luis Suarez's side, but the club wanted to protect and support his own players, so I don't really blame Liverpool for that. But if it happened today, I don't think Liverpool would have done the same, because I think as a society we evolved, as a football club Liverpool have evolved since then. So yeah, that's my verdict. Ultimately, Luis Suarez will do what is best for him first and foremost, and what is best for his current team, which is Barcelona. So yeah, if Liverpool fans really thought that Luis Suarez would be humble and not celebrate against Liverpool as a Barcelona player, you don't know Luis Suarez that well. You don't know how much he wants to win every single game. He is playing like a street footballer. Carragher is right about that. And Sadio Mane has played down the links, the transfer rumors linking him with Real Madrid and the summer transfer move. And he said this in a press conference. I think you guys righted the rumors. And he was talking to the journalists there. I just read it with my friends. I respect the Spanish league. It's a good league with great players, but the Premier League is also a wonderful league. Everyone wants to play here. I've had this opportunity at Liverpool, so I think it's cool, and I'm happy here. So Sadio Mane doesn't really want to move to Real Madrid at the moment, but Liverpool very, very soon, maybe this season or next season, Liverpool must win a trophy. I'm even pressured to say Liverpool have to win a trophy, and a big trophy, if we want to keep the likes of Mo Salah and Sadio Mane, because if this trophy drought goes on for a little bit too longer, they might jump ship. I think Liverpool will be one of the unluckiest teams in history, in football history, if we end up with nothing, not winning a trophy. But in any other season, we would be Premier League champions. So I think that Salah and Mane will definitely stick around next season. And if we can challenge for the title next season and maybe go one step further and win the Premier League title, that could cement this Liverpool as one of the greatest teams in Liverpool's history, because then we will go on and win more titles. I'm pretty convinced that the first big title is always the hardest to win. And I really hope that Liverpool gets some kind of luck this season. We get some kind of break. Maybe Leicester score a goal and Man City can't turn it around and win the game. That's the kind of break that Liverpool need right now. We didn't get lucky against Barcelona. That was one of the unluckiest games of the season. And also, what is even more unlucky is that Naby Keita, it has been confirmed that he suffered a bad groin injury against Barcelona, and he will miss 2 months now, which means that not only his Liverpool season is over, but also Africa Cup of Nations is coming in the summer, and Naby Keita won't be able to play and get fit for that tournament either, which I feel very, very sorry for him, because Naby Keita has been in blistering form in the past month and a half for Liverpool, and he really blossomed and became the player that we saw at RB Leipzig. But now I hope that Naby Keita can rest, recover, get a full pre-season under his belt, and then come back even stronger next season. So that's what I'm hoping for. He's a very fit player, so I'm pretty confident that Naby Keita can come back fully fit next season. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Have a nice day. See you later. Goodbye.